Do you think that it could be the case where, when a new technology arrives, maybe a small percentage of people kind of play with it and even get to know the extent of, apparently it's called the capability overhang, right? Like where the model is so capable, but people may not be making the full use of the model. Do you think there might be a time where a lot of people just at once realize all the things that probably could be done, and maybe there's like a lot of people lose their job like at once, like it's all lala till a point, and then everybody realizes like all the things that it's possible, and then suddenly there's, is that plausible at all?
You're wondering if there's like a threshold of capabilities at which adoption suddenly jumps and automation suddenly jumps.
I think the capabilities, I think, like you mentioned it, I think capabilities are already there. My guess would be that I think a lot of people, like, if I can take a step back, like, I know a few of my software engineering friends who still do not use like Cloud Code or Codex extensively, right? They still
Mhm.
like to, inspect their code, or write code by hand, because they get a lot of, they want that context of knowing all the things that the code does. So I'm guessing, I don't know if there's a scenario where a lot of people in different sectors like CAs, lawyers, or other sectors, they may not have really played with the technology, and there may come a point where everybody just suddenly realizes what it's capable of, and maybe then there could be like some kind of like mass firings or so. It's a speculative scenario. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I tend to think of that type of diffusion as, you have to learn by playing with something, and then you have to reorganize your business around a new type of production. There's that classic example of factory electrification where you needed to sort of rebuild the factory floor entirely to get the benefits of electrification. It didn't happen overnight, and so there are all these complementary innovations that have to happen. Rem Koning at HBS has a cool paper showing that AI, quote unquote, AI native firms, which are startups that start with AI from day one, and they have very different organizational structures than larger companies. They're much flatter, they're more technical, and they tend to be much more productive, much higher revenue per employee. And it takes a while for those companies that are AI native and probably more productive to grow, expand, and sort of creatively destroy the larger companies. So I may be less concerned about like an event where we get past a certain point and then everyone adopts it at once. I do think there's a possibility that the capabilities there's a jump in how valuable they actually are for real world economic tasks. And one way to think about this is something like if there's a handoff in a workflow between a human and an AI system, which a lot of workflows involve today, it slows things down. That creates a bottleneck. And the reason why that has to happen is because the AI system can do some of the tasks, but not all of the tasks. And so if you write code with an AI agent, but then you have to debug it yourself, you're actually slowed down because you didn't write the code and you don't have as much context. But then once the AI system is so good to do all the tasks, then you get a sudden burst in productivity. And so I do think it is possible that you have these discontinuities. Amazon Mechanical Turk is not accepting new customers after this month. I was shocked to see that. And it might be because everyone's using AI on the other end, so the customer experience is no longer good. It might be because they project demand to be low. That's a little odd. They would stop new customers then. But anyway, basically, the point is for these types of remote, short time horizon tasks, I do think they've already been somewhat disrupted, and it'll just continue along the kind of ladder of complexity and time horizon.